Whoa, it's me. And it's you. What's going on, guys? Members Talk Live. We're back. I'm tired once again, but it's going good. It's going to be a good show, guys. We've got a bunch of topics to talk about today. We're probably not going to get to all of them because that's just how we usually go around here. But Jason Bourne, looking for a new home. Who's going to buy it? Where do we want it to go? We're going to talk about that. Coyote versus Acme. You thought those words were done coming out of our mouths, but nope, it's not. There's still hope. There's a new hope. Due to a new Looney Tunes movie. We'll talk more about that as to how Coyote versus Acme might actually get saved and whether we think it actually will. Happy Gilmore 2 released a teaser. I think it sucks. We'll talk about that. And also, we have one other topic that is slipping my mind, and we'll talk about that as well. So this is it, guys. Members Talk Live. Let's do it. And we're back with our members from the critically acclaimed and beloved YouTube channel. Have you seen that with T? We've got our buddy T joining us. What's going on, dude?
What's going on, man?
Not enough sleep. That's what's going on. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you pretty good. I can hear you just fine, man. And from the also astoundingly amazing sports and movies combination channel, we've got the Ace himself from the Ace Avenue. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? That whoa caught me by surprise. You startled me a little bit.
Yeah, me too. Me too. You never know. I don't know why I do it. I think, it's Friday night. I can stay up later, and then I'm up like 4 times throughout the rest of the night. So like I'm going to bed at like midnight, and then then he's screaming, and I'm getting up and trying to give my wife more sleep because she gives me lots of sleep during the weekdays when I go to work. So I want to try and trade that off on the weekends. But I pushed it a little bit last night. Not gonna lie, pushed it a little bit. A little tired today, but
you guys are doing a good job. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been good. Like it's been great. Like he's a sweet little angel most of the time. Like he doesn't cry or scream all that much unless it's like 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning.
The prime time.
That's his prime time.
Yelling. Yes.
Yep. Other times I'm like, can you scream yet? Like you just stare at. Like, also, he takes forever to blink. I've had staring competitions with this kid for the past couple days. He'll go for like a solid minute and a half without blinking, and I don't know what it is about. I don't know if that's normal. Like I don't know, but
Zach's eyes are getting all watery because he's trying to keep up.
And they do 100%. It's crazy.
The joys of fatherhood, man.
Yeah, it's been such an adventure so far. I'm loving it. Anyways, guys, we've got some topics that we are here to talk about. One of which we'll start with Jason Bourne is a franchise that tried to do a revival with Matt Damon a couple years back. I want to say 2017. They came out with the 5th film that kind of worked as like starting a new series. I don't know if the box office just failed for that or not, but it didn't really take off. We haven't really heard from Jason Bourne in a number of years. Now we're getting word that Jason Bourne is looking for a new home as Universal is about to lose the rights, and there's some contenders waiting to snatch them up. So this comes to us from the Dark Horizons, saying the Bourne franchise seeks a new home. The mission is now over at Universal Pictures for Jason Bourne, with the rights to the Spy franchise and the rest of author Robert Ludlum's library now shopped around by agency WME. Skydance, Apple, and Netflix are all reportedly said to have met with the estate for the rights. Universal could potentially win the rights back as well if they made a good enough bid. The character, of course, is creation of Ludlum from his 1980 novel, The Bourne Identity, which was adapted by film director Doug Liman in 2002 at Universal Pictures. Matt Damon starred, yada, yada, yada. We kind of know all that stuff. So, Jason Bourne. First of all, I'll throw it to you, T. Are you a fan of Jason Bourne? Do you like this series?
I loved the Jason Bourne movies. I even loved the Bourne Legacy with Jeremy Renner. I thought they were good movies. The shaky cam, there's a lot of people who hate shaky cam, but I loved the fight scenes in these movies. In particular, I think it was the second one where he fought the French guy in the bathroom, and it was really close quarters. And there was a lot of elbow strikes thrown.
Supremacy,
that was probably, that was one of the. I remember being in the theater, and I was like, "Yo, this is awesome!" Like that's actually what made me truly fall in love with the franchise was just the way they choreograph a lot of the fights. The action scenes was very frenetic. It was a lot of energy, high energy action scenes, and it was a fun time.
Yeah. Were you a fan of the fifth one they did with Matt Damon, like back in like
The last one?
2017? Yeah, the last one they did.
The last, I wasn't a fan of how they always brought the romantic interest in and found a way to kill her. Like, I
Yeah.
think in the last one, Julia Stiles ended up saying, you know, we were romantically linked, and then they end up killing her. And spoiler alert, this movie came out 10 years ago, probably. Like, but they end up killing her, and it was just like, this is dumb. Like that's my main gripe with that movie. And you could tell they were trying to do something different to expand the universe, but by that time, I mean, 5 films in, you kind of know what you're getting into. There's not much ground that you can cover that hasn't been covered already, and I think it just kind of ran out of steam. But I still thought it was okay, pretty solid movie.
Yeah, running out of steam, I think, is a good way of describing it, because I thought the last movie they did at Universal was fine. Like, it was cool seeing Matt Damon come back, and I was kind of intrigued with some of the stuff they were setting up for the rest of the movies that they clearly had planned that didn't go anywhere. But at the same time, I'll throw it to you first, Ace. Actually, are you same question? Are you a fan of this franchise, and what do you think about it seeking a new home? Do you want it to stay at Universal, or do you think some new blood would be good for this?
I've seen the first 3. I've actually been thinking about going back and rewatching these. Every time I do, I'm like, which one came first though? Because I always remember Identity did come first. I didn't see the one with Jeremy Renner, which I do want T's opinion. I want you guys' opinion on how that was. But yeah, I think this is a solid franchise. You know, a action film that does what it's supposed to do. I'm entertained by it in general. But this just screams Netflix to me. It screams to me. I really feel like Netflix would jump on this quickly and do it justice. I feel like this is right up their alley. But yeah, this is something that I have recently been like within the calendar year been thinking about. Yeah, I think I might want to go back and start rewatching these movies again, because I haven't seen the last 2, Legacy and the last one with Jason Bourne. Once Jeremy Renner kind of took over, I kind of just was like, okay, I saw the first 3, but I didn't really know how it went from there. But what did you guys think about the Legacy one?
I'll do it to because I haven't seen that one actually.
It was solid. It was solid. It was nothing great. I remember I didn't go see it in a theater. I think I was deployed when that came out. I remember watching it in my room, and I was like, man, I don't get the hate for this movie, because there are people, of course, because anytime you try to replace a great franchise, like you could tell they were trying to replace. And Jeremy Renner, the franchise killer, as they say, because they tried the same thing with Mission Impossible. They tried to like spin him off, because it.
Is that factual though? Because I've heard that a number of times that they tried to spin him off with Jeremy, but I never got that sense when I watched Ghost Protocol that he was supposed to be like taking over. Like, was that actually a fact that they were trying to do that?
I don't know if it was a fact, but it felt like a fact. It felt like they were setting his character up in that movie to come back in the next movie, and then for because Tom Cruise is getting older in the 2. And Jeremy Renner is no spring chicken either. He always looked like he was in his mid-30s ever since he showed up in Thor. He always looked like he was in his mid, and he probably was, but he just looked older than the characters he was supposed to be portraying. But yeah, like in the Legacy, I thought it was solid. Like it wasn't a terrible movie to me. It didn't turn me off to the franchise, because I came back. I would have came back if they did another movie with him. But then, you know, they ultimately went away. I think that movie still made like $300 million. Like, it still did pretty solid in the box office, but they wanted more.
So with all that said, T, what do you think the direction should be going forward? Like, it's on the table here. Universal could potentially hold on to the rights if they make a big enough bid, but there's already other places bidding to get this property. Do you think that this should remain at Universal? Are you rooting for Universal to hold on to this? Do you want them to lose it, someone else take it over? Do you think that Matt Damon should continue playing the character? Should they bring him back? Should they reboot? What are your thoughts, T, on what are you thinking they should do with this?
Let's let Matt Damon be Matt Damon somewhere else in the universe. Like, I don't think that we need to have a 60-year-old Matt Damon playing Jason Bourne. The guy's still trying to find his identity. My first thought was Amazon. Amazon, like Amazon does these book series. They have Reacher, they have Cross, they have Jack Ryan. They do these shows really well. Netflix could do the show really well. I saw Apple does phenomenal with their series. I think this is more. I don't think they should like reboot the movie series. I think they should make it into a series. I know they tried it with Treadstone on USA, and that was okay. I watched a few episodes of that, and I thought it was okay, but USA just doesn't do. They don't do shows as well, and they don't give shows a chance to grow and find its audience, because I think they gave it one season and then it was canceled. Like, you have to give these shows a chance to find their footing, because everything is not a smash hit. Everything is a Severance. Everything doesn't just come out and just take the world by storm. Some of these shows need time to kind of grow, and you grow into these characters.
Yeah, so the options were Skydance, Apple, and Netflix are the ones that are reportedly meeting for the rights. So I guess Amazon's not in there, but I'm on the same track as you for sure, though. I'm rooting for Apple. I think that Apple does of Netflix and Amazon and Disney Plus. Like, I feel like Apple has the most quality control. I feel like the things that they put out are just consistently great and well produced, and the budgets are like, I just finished watching Severance, which there is a little bit of like spy espionage feeling to that type of show, which I think was just phenomenally done. I loved Severance. I loved both seasons. Season 2 was a little bit less than season 1 for me, but the ending was phenomenal. So I feel like Apple, if they turned Bourne into a series, kind of gave it a spy espionage series, I think that they could do a really amazing job. And I'd be really curious to see if they could breathe new life into this, because Ace, I'll throw it to you. Like I mentioned, they tried to do Jason Bourne with Matt Damon again back in like 2016, 2017, I want to say. It clearly did not catch on. The franchise has been pretty dead in the water for quite some time now. Where do you mentioned Netflix could go and revive it? Do you think that they should revive it with a new actor? Do you think that Matt Damon should continue in the role? What say you?
I think it is it is his, movie. So I think he should revive it. I could see this as Netflix, but realistically, I think I'm rooting for Universal, because that way at least we know we're gonna get it in theaters. And after seeing movies like Novocaine, I think like the mid-budget action movies can still work, and they do still translate well to the big screen. Box office, will they do it crazy numbers? Maybe. Matt Damon can put people in seats. Well, not crazy numbers, but good numbers. Maybe Matt Damon could put people in theaters, but like, it's his movie, so ultimately I think it needs to be him. I haven't seen past the movie, so I don't know if we can get a collective universe T. I mean, maybe you'd be better off answering that. Could you bring over Renner and a cameo, in a movie going forward from there? I don't know. I mean, anything can happen, as long as I guess he didn't die at the end of it. Like I said, I didn't know because I don't see. But like I said, I think I'm rooting for Universal, because like the mid-budget action does still have value when it comes to the theater movies.
So I think when we talk about mid-budget action,
I don't think it's mid-budget.
The Bourne movies have cost a little more because they're always on location. They are like, their movies are kind of worldwide, like, and maybe they shoot them on sets, but
they're more adjacent to James Bond. They're more adjacent to James Bond than they are.
Oh no, but what I'm saying is mid-budget action movies work in theaters, so this could work in theaters as well, is what I'm saying, because like Novocaine was great. It was a great time. So bring us more stuff like that.
But like Novocaine's so the Bourne Legacy made solid money at the box office, but to Universal it was a failure because it didn't make $500 million. Like, the Bourne movies themselves, the first 3 made pretty good money. I think the third one made the lowest, and then they were like, oh well, let's reboot the franchise, because they thought Matt Damon at that time was getting too old for the role. And I think Matt Damon at the time said he wasn't going to come back and do it. Like, he said he was done playing Jason Bourne, so they went the Jeremy Renner route, and then Matt Damon went through a Matt Damon-ish slump. I feel like him and Ben Affleck go through these, like, they went through a lull in their career, and Doug Liman got him back, and they went and did Jason Bourne, which I really thought was a good return to form, but it just didn't do what Universal wanted it to do. I think I think they have very unrealistic expectations of where the franchise is in the pop culture zeitgeist. Like they think that it's a $1 billion franchise. They think it's James Bond when I don't think it's James Bond. Like I don't consider it to be in that same vein as James Bond. It's a great franchise, but I just don't consider it like James Bond is iconic for decades. I don't foresee Jason Bourne, 30 years from now. I don't foresee them still going back to the well and creating new Jason Bourne films.
Yeah, it's not on the same level as a James Bond. And that's why I think I want it to go to Apple and I want it to become a series, is because Universal has had it for all this time. Like we've already talked about, it's dead in the water. They had a chance to do something with it. They're clearly not doing anything with it. I think you get some fresh blood in there. I think you move it to a new streaming server. I think that it's more suitable for this day and age to have it on a streaming service as a series. I just feel like with Reacher and even the Jack Ryan series they did with John Krasinski, is that his name? I can't remember, but he audiences are starting to adapt these kind of, aside from Mission Impossible and I guess James Bond every couple of years, there really isn't these spy espionage big action budgeted films in theaters anymore. And I think that they're transitioning to moving over to streaming, and I think Apple, I'd like to see what they could do with this. I'm rooting for Apple. I'm hoping that they can get this.
So the Bourne Identity made 214 million is what it made in 04. So, or 02 is when it came out. So
what about the last one, Jason Bourne? What did that one do back in like 2000
Legacy
whatever?
Did 200. Let's see. Legacy did 276. Let's see what Jason Bourne did.
By the way, shout out to Michael Entity and Luke Ponto in the chat here. Michael, of course, beloved channel member, saying sorry I couldn't make it today. Currently filming right now, but I miss you guys and we'll be there next week. Thank you so much, man, for joining us in the chat. And I hope the filming's going well, dude. We look forward to chatting with you next week. And Luke Ponto, what's up, guys? What's going on, Luke? Thanks for joining us, buddy.
So the last Jason Bourne, 415 million.
415 million?
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the budget.
Money. I would say, to me, that's good money. But I'm pretty sure the budget, because Matt Damon's asking price is pretty damn high these days. And they were pretty high then. He probably got paid like $30 million to do that movie.
Total, all the movies have made $1 billion, cracked $1 billion.
Yeah.
Close to a little under 1.7.
So it's a profitable franchise. Definitely worth grabbing onto. What do you guys think? Where do you want Jason Bourne to end up? Do you want it to stay at Universal? Do you want it to move on? Let us know your thoughts down below. Speaking of things that are sticking around and getting more, this is the one I forgot to mention. Coco. Coco 2 has been officially announced by Pixar. This comes to us from Dark Horizons. Walt Disney Studios and Pixar Animation Studios have announced that a sequel to 2017's Coco is officially in the works, with plans for a 2029 theatrical release. Look at the time difference between that. That's crazy. That's like almost Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3 levels. Not quite, but almost. It looks similar.
Still not as bad as Incredibles, though.
True. Oh yeah, that's true. Man, Incredibles was forever. The original film's directors, Lee Unkrich and Adrian Molini, will both return for the new movie, while Mark Nielsen, Inside Out 2's and Toy Story 4 will produce. Plot specifics and casting remain under wraps at this time. Well, yeah, it's not out till 2029. They can wait a little bit. The film was announced as part of Disney's annual meeting of shareholders, with CEO Bob Iger saying, while the film is just in the initial stages, we know it'll be full of humor, heart, and adventure. We can't wait to share more soon. All right. So just letting you guys in on my thoughts on Coco. It's one of my favorite Pixar movies they've ever done. I love that first Coco film, and I did not think it was going to be good. I remember watching the trailers when that was coming out, and it was like, it looks cute enough, but Pixar's lost its touch, obviously. I wasn't really that psyched for it. And then I just like randomly bought the Blu-ray because it was out, and I was like, I haven't seen Coco yet. Bought the Blu-ray, watched it. So many tears, so many laughs. I loved this movie. It also felt to me like a one and done. It felt like a Pixar movie where I don't see the route they would go to do a sequel with this. Now it's Pixar, so Pixar is, more genius than I can ever hope to be. So I'm not going to doubt Pixar, especially after seeing Inside Out 2. They clearly have a lot of gas left in the tank when it comes to creativity. I'm just a little bit with my own, shallow mind. I don't see how they do it. I don't see how you do a sequel to Coco, but maybe I'm alone in that because I am excited to see more Coco. Like I said, I love that film. It's probably top 5 Pixar movie for me. Ace, what's your experience with Coco? How are you feeling about the announcement for a sequel? Do you think it could work, unlike me?
My experience with Coco is sorry, voice cracking. My experience with Coco is none. I have not seen it.
You've not seen Coco?
No, I have not checked it out. Like you had
dude,
said,
I cannot recommend Coco highly enough. It's one of my favorite Pixar films.
I'm gonna add that to the list because like I was right there with you. Like Pixar kind of went through a little bit of a lull with me. Recently though, I've been sold on it because like you had said, I will add also to your Inside Out 2. I will also add Elementos to that list because I thoroughly enjoyed that one, and those have been some of the last Pixar movies that have come out. But I understand the importance of Coco. Like I do know when people talk about it, they talk about it very highly, and with what it brought in and the nominations that it had for best animated films and best original songs, stuff like that, I'm with that. As far as for a sequel, they're gonna do it. They'll make it make sense enough for it to make money, and hopefully for fans like yourself that love it, hopefully it does it justice. And for you guys, like I said, I'm very excited for you guys to get this product back. But when it comes out, I have plenty of time, obviously, to watch the first Coco because it's not coming out till 2029. But I'm definitely going to have to, something I'm definitely going to have to get into. But I do hear very raving reviews about this movie. So it could be done because, like I said, the Inside Out 2 was great. Pixar definitely knows what they're doing. Like you said, they have some gas in the tank. They definitely have a lot of creativity. So I'm with it.
T, we're getting another Coco film. Do you think we'll get it before Blade?
Probably before Blade.
Before Spider-Verse?
I also have never seen. No, definitely before Spider-Verse. I don't know if Spider-Verse 2 is ever going to come out, but one can only hope. I've never seen Coco either. I remember turning Coco on, and I remember Coco then ending, and my daughter had a good time with it. I couldn't. I don't know. I never would like. It's not a movie that I'll just pick up and like, hey, let's watch Coco. Because my daughter, if she picks a movie to watch, she's gonna watch that movie a million times. I've seen the Little Mermaid probably 500 times because my daughter plays it, and then Lion King because my son. Those are two my kids' favorite movies. But like they've seen Coco, and it's a movie that kind of came and went with them. I think the themes might have been a little too heavy for them at their ages when they watched it. So
yeah, it deals with like death and all that stuff.
I don't even know if my daughter. I just remember the movie being over and me waking up from my afternoon nap and was like, "Oh, I hope you enjoyed it."
You're like,
and I don't even know if she was.
Yeah, you walk in, the movie's starting. You walk out, the movie's over.
Yeah, the movie's over. So I don't have much. I don't have much stock in it, and I mean, it coming out, it did well. Any animated movie, I feel like there is a way for them to make a sequel to it. They're gonna make a sequel to it. Like just it's a proven commodity, especially here in El Paso where I live. Like Coco is huge and Canto is huge because of the Hispanic population. Those are very big movies out here. So the kids love them. And anytime they bring Disney on Ice here, they always do Encanto and Coco, that stuff. So I guess I've seen it on ice. I've never watched Encanto or Coco in live or in animated form, but I've seen it on ice. So
watch Encanto, you might like it.
Encanto's good.
Another movie. Once again, I vividly remember starting Encanto and them singing and then waking up in the credits. That happened to me 3 times every time they start Encanto because my daughter really likes Encanto. and every single time it's the middle of the afternoon, she throws it on, and I sit on that couch, and my couch is so comfortable, and I just go to sleep every time.
Well, you guys definitely proving my point. You guys are proving my point. Coco is a very underrated Pixar film. I definitely want you guys to check it out. The fact that there's a sequel coming is perfect time for you guys to check it out. But I'll just say, without giving anything away, the way that Coco ends, a sequel in my mind seems like they'd have to do somehow he's going back to the afterlife again, and it just feels like it would be a contrived story. Just with the way that Coco wraps up in the end, it feels like the sequel, they'd have to do a lot of coincidences and right place, right time stuff to like just contrive story elements to get him back. I don't know how it would work, but I'm curious to see how Pixar's gonna deal with it. So what do you guys think? Coco 2, you excited? Have you seen the first Coco? If you haven't, I highly recommend it. So go out and check that out. All right, next story. And T, I remember we talked about this months ago. I think close to a year ago we talked about this, and I thought we were done talking about it, honestly, but there is still some hope, believe it or not, for Coyote versus Acme. At least this is what Dark Horizons is saying. Now, for you guys who haven't been following this story, Coyote versus Acme is a Looney Tunes, Roger Rabbit kind of hybrid movie that they've made. It's already shot. It's already done. It's completely ready to go over at Warner Brothers. They've decided to shelve it, get a tax write-off on it. The creators have come out very upset about this. The actors have come out very upset about this. There were a ton of this has been related to the Batgirl incident, or not incident, but situation where Batgirl got canned. It wasn't a finished film. They stopped it before it even got finished. They shelved it, got a tax write-off on it. The difference between Coyote versus Acme and Batgirl is Coyote versus Acme is completely finished. And unlike Batgirl, people have seen it and they love it. Phil and Lord, the director duo, high regarded in our fan base circles, they've seen it and they came out raving about it. They loved it. So the big question has been, why isn't Warner Brothers taking a chance on this film? Why does David Zaslav want to kill all this Looney Tunes stuff? They even just took all the Looney Tune library off of Max with the new Looney Tunes movie, the what's it called? The Day the Earth Blew Up. The Day the Earth Blew Up is in theaters currently right now. And while that film is in theaters, they decided to take all of Looney Tunes off of their HBO Max service. I don't understand the logic behind that. I don't know why David Zaslav hates the Looney Tunes. It's very odd to me. But anyways, this seemed dead in the water that they were not going to release Coyote versus Acme. They tried to shop it around. No one wanted to buy it. No one wanted to pay the price tag of, I think it was like $50 million that Warner Brothers was asking for someone to take this, put it on a streaming service, distribute it themselves, whatever. It seemed like the conversation was done. It was dead. But because of Looney Tunes back in theaters, the conversation is opened back up. This is what Dark Horizons has to say about this. Warner Brothers Discovery's vaulted Coyote vs. Acme movie may finally see the light of day with a new report indicating that Warner's may sell it off. Indie outfit Ketchup Entertainment, who just released the animated feature The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, to a 5.5 million global debut weekend, is reportedly in discussions with Warner Brothers Discovery to come to a roughly $50 million deal that would see Coyote vs. Acme hit cinemas in 2026. Deadline reported the news saying it's not entirely clear if the deal will close. Warner Brothers Pictures abruptly scrapped the completed project in November 2023 for an approximate $35 million tax write-off. The studio suffered a major backlash both online and amongst the film community for the decision, which is still talked about to this day. The studio claimed it changed course and allowed the filmmakers to shop around the $70 million budget live-action CG animation hybrid feature to other potential distributors. A report early last year said the studio reportedly received several offers, but was seeking a minimum of $75 million and wouldn't allow any counter offers. Sources in the new report indicate no formal offer was ever made by the dozen potential distributors who saw the film. Either way, a year ago, Warner Brothers Discovery took a $150 million write-down on mystery projects. Coyote vs. Acme was widely presumed to be one of them. In the movie, Looney Tunes character Wile E. Coyote hires an unlucky human attorney, Will Forte, to sue the Acme Corporation for defective product injury after so many of their products have backfired on him over the years in his pursuit of the Roadrunner. John Cena co-stars as the head of Acme. All right. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this article right here. First of all, T, it said that this happened in November 2023. So I guess we talked about this years ago as opposed to a couple of months ago. Time flies. We're back at this conversation, T. How are you feeling about this? A new a new competitor has entered the ring. We've got Ketchup Entertainment. They're coming in here. They're fighting for Coyote versus Acme. Are they going to win this fight, T? What say you? How do you think this is looking?
This just sounds like corporate greed at its finest. Like, as you read that, I was like, man, like they took a $35 million tax write-off and they still want $75 million for a movie that cost $70 million. Like, it's like, man, it's Warner Brothers being Warner Brothers, David Zaslav being David Zaslav, just corporate greed. In all honesty, I don't care if the movie ever sees the light of day. It's not a movie that I think that I'm gonna find myself running out to see. I've heard nothing but good things about the new Looney Tunes movie that just came out. Everybody said it's really good. It's still not a movie that I'm running out to see. May have found a way to watch it without leaving the comfort of my home. May or may not have found a way.
You will neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah, I will neither confirm nor deny my ability to watch it with my kids, because my kids love Space Jam 1. They love Space Jam 2. They enjoyed LeBron James for some strange reason. So they do love they do love the Looney Tunes characters, Daffy Duck, and in particular, for some reason, my son loves Daffy Duck. But I mean, if the movie, I don't think they're gonna sell them for $50 million. They're gonna try to highball, like the or lowball, whichever one you want to call it. They're just terrible people. Like, they should just put the movie. Like, I don't think this Looney Tunes movie that's out now is gonna make enough money for people to be like, oh, we should put this one out. I don't think it's gonna make $500 million or something like that, enough for people to then say, we got to get this movie out there. So it may or may not happen. I hope it does see the light of day, because I feel like if you make a movie, just put the damn thing out and see what people say. Same thing with Batgirl. I would love to see whatever I still want to see Batgirl. Like, 20 years from now, there's going to be a way for me to see Batgirl. I'm waiting for that day just so I can see it. So, I mean, just put the movie out. Like, figure it out. Stop being so greedy. Put the movie out and let the kids enjoy it.
How much do you ultimately think it gets sold for?
$75 million. Like, I feel like they're gonna.
Somebody's gonna. They say that they're not going to take counter offers.
Yeah.
So unless someone's going to pick willing to go even higher than that, which it doesn't even sound like anyone wants to match the 75, it's got to go for like 75. Which, to T's point, I've always kind of had a dog in this fight, not because I'm a huge Looney Tunes fan. I like the Looney Tunes. I enjoy them. I'll watch them. Like, I grew up with them, like a lot of people did, in the reruns and stuff. I didn't even realize how old Looney Tunes was until I got into like middle school age. And then I was like, oh, I watched that as a kid, but it's from like this age. Like, that's crazy. But when it comes to this movie, and to some extent Batgirl as well, what I don't like about this current situation with Coyote versus Acme is it feels like David Zaslav is one person who's like, this isn't a property. This is me assuming and projecting onto him. But what I get from this is David Zaslav's like, this isn't really a property I enjoy. I'm not a huge fan of Looney Tunes. Nah, let's just tax write it off. Let's get our money back for this. Where when you and granted, this movie was also greenlit, budgeted, made before David Zaslav came and took over Warner Brothers Discovery. So this was an old regime that decided to make this movie, and David Zaslav looked at the numbers and obviously didn't agree that it was going to make money in the box office. But when you take a gamble on a project, when you take a gamble on any movie project, you never know really what could happen. Prime example, Barbie. Who at Warner Brothers, when they greenlit Barbie, thought that was going to be $1 billion movie? Who thought that movie was going to overperform and become one of the highest grossing films of all time? When no one, they can go back and rewrite history if they want to in their minds, but I guarantee you, no one saw Greta Gerwig's vision for Barbie and thought this is going to make $1 billion. They took a risk on it. They believed in her. They took a gamble, and it wildly paid off. Now, if David Zaslav was in there, oh, I'm not a big fan of the Barbie character. What do we spend on this? What? Let's just tax write it off. You never would have gotten that one of the highest grossing movies of all time with Barbie. Not to say that Coyote versus Acme is going to become one of the highest grossing movies of all time if it were to come out, but you never know what can happen. And the Looney Tunes have been around for ages, and like Space Jam and Space Jam 2, like these hybrid kind of live action with the Looney Tunes have done better than some of the animated movies have done. John Cena's a name, like he's a recognizable name right now. You put him in the market, you put him in the trailers. I think that this could do decent numbers at the box office. I'm not quite sure why there's such a huge hang up on it, but Ace, you're hearing this story. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on Looney Tunes popularity? Do you think that David Zaslav's making the right decision shelving this, or are you hoping that someone can come and save it?
I'm kind of with you guys. Like, put it out, let it see the light of day. The day the Earth blew up right now is kind of at 6 million, but it just kind of came out. I do think the Looney Tunes have an avenue though for people like you guys that already alluded to. You guys have alluded to all the points already. The Space Jam movies, iconic. Space Jam was an iconic movie of our childhood. Space Jam: New Legacy, it had LeBron in it. It was okay. But the day the Earth blew up is definitely getting a lot of good attention. So I definitely think there's an avenue for it. I think, but like T had alluded to, corporate greed might end up causing this movie because, like you had said, just like that, you never know what's going to happen if you put it out. Maybe it gains some traction. Maybe the summertime blockbuster, people go see it. You might be able to make your money back easily with it. I'm not the biggest Looney Tune fan. I kind of got introduced to them around the Tiny Toons, and obviously with Space Jam. So when this movie comes out, it's not going to affect me overall. But yeah, corporate greed at the end of the day might end up killing it, because if you're in charge of this, you can't just say I don't like things, so I don't think anybody will like things. Like everybody that's in there with him, like the figureheads that are in there with him, should like sit him down and be like, look, let's just put it out, see what happens, and go from there. But like I said, I definitely think there's an avenue for it.
Yeah, honestly, I don't understand why Netflix isn't in this fight right now. Netflix spent over $300 million on The Electric State. They put out a film on their streaming service that was made for like over $300 million that has no IP attached to it, no, pre-sold franchise hype around it. $100 million by Coyote versus Acme. You guys can obviously afford it. You guys can, and people would come to your service to watch it. There's a lot of people
Netflix
who are excited to watch. You know what?
We don't want to. You're not going to talk bad about us. I think Zach is going.
I don't know. I don't get it. But to this article specifically, T, I'll throw it to you first. Over or under, I don't know, 45% chance. Let's say that over under 45% that this Ketchup Entertainment actually is able to purchase the rights to Coyote versus Acme and release it. What do you think? What do you think the odds are?
Under. I don't think that they're going. I don't think Warner Brothers is going to budge, because once again, if you're not going to like line their pockets with money that exceeds what they want, I just don't foresee them. Like, they don't care. They don't care what we think. They don't care that the fans, unless the day the Earth blew up made $100 million. Like, if it makes $100 million by the summertime, maybe. I really think that it will find, like you said, Netflix. It will find legs online. I don't know how. I really don't know how these companies are making money. I don't think they're making money. Apple TV said it's lost $1 billion on its Apple TV movies. Like, they're not making money. They're spending money. I don't know when they actually make the money. I really don't. Like, advertising dollars and stuff like that. But Netflix doesn't have advertising other than some of its lives, like Monday Night Raw has advertising, but most of its shows don't have advertising. And they do a terrible job advertising these movies a lot of
They do,
times.
yeah.
So I don't know. I don't foresee. I would say under. I don't foresee this movie getting sold to Ketchup, and I've never heard of Ketchup Entertainment. Bless those guys over there. Hopefully they do get it and put it out, and that sounds like a studio that probably loves Looney Tunes. But I hope they get it, but I don't think they will.
Ace, same question to you. Over under 45% they are able to get this.
Under.
Under.
And I have started hearing about Ketchup. Ketchup is kind of out there now. But yeah, under. I just don't see it. Even with John Cena, like, are we gonna see him in the movie? T, you get that joke? I mean, that's a wrestling type joke. But I don't know. I just don't see it. So I'm gonna go under.
Unfortunately, I'm probably gonna go under too. I want to see this come out because of the positive word of mouth that we've heard from people who have seen it, which right there, like, shows how you could get this movie, a box office, because I wasn't thinking about Coyote versus Acme before. Like, when this was slated to come out, it wasn't until it was canceled and then the positive word of mouth came out that it was a really great movie that I was like, oh, I want to see that. If you put this in theaters and that positive word of mouth happened, you might have actually seen some money come back. But that's beyond the point. I just don't think that a $5 million or $6 million, I guess it is now, Ace, global box office for an animated Looney Tunes film. Granted, I don't think the release was that wide. I don't think that it hit that many theaters. I don't think it's even playing in my theater. I'd have to check on that. But I haven't seen any marketing for it. I haven't seen a single trailer for this Looney Tunes movie. I only knew about this Looney Tunes movie because a bunch of reviewers on my YouTube feed started reviewing it, and it started popping up, like Jeremy Johns and our buddy Jacob Hubbard and stuff reviewed it. So their marketing was not very strong for that. So that kind of indicates to me that Ketchup Entertainment may not have the marketing budget to get the word out on Coyote versus Acme, first of all, even if they purchased it. And I just don't think that a $6 million global box office as of now for an animated Looney Tunes film is going to justify spending $75 million on a Looney Tunes product. So it's the seemingly last hope. We've said that before, so there may be another, to quote Yoda, but for now, it's not looking good, but there's still hope.
Here's my question when it comes to marketing, right? Because things that are currently going on can tend to affect it. So my guy, This is a question for T, because T has, T is a wrestling aficionado, and he has a new wrestling channel. If this movie came out now, with everything that's going on with John Cena and WWE, would it bring sales to it, or would it not?
If he went on air and talked about it, it would. If he just went on Monday Night Raw and said, talked about, because he's playing Acme, he's playing the evil corporation, and now he's a bad guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think that would help with. Yeah, exactly. I think that would help with sales. I think, like, the wrestling fan, we're weird creatures, right? We went to go see Ready to Rumble, a David Arquette movie in the early 2000s, which is a terrible movie, but it had wrestlers in it, right? So everybody went and saw it.
It was iconic for its time, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Iconic for its time. Yes, it's a very, very 90s. I think that was late 90s, early 2000 movie. But we went and saw Hulk Hogan movies. Like, people went and saw Mr. Nanny because Hulk Hogan was in it. He's such a big wrestling figure at the time in the 80s. So, I mean, yeah, people go see it. Would it make over $100 million? Probably not. Actually, no, I take that back. It probably would. It probably get close to the $200 million if it got the wrestling backing, if it got that whole hype train going, especially around WrestleMania, which is the WWE Super Bowl. I think it would. I think that would help with a lot of sales, but they won't put it out to next year, and John Cena will be retired by then, so we truly won't be able to see him.
Yeah, well, question is for you guys. It goes on and on, this Coyote versus Acme drama. It may never end. One day the movie might just get leaked. Who knows? But as it is for now, no one's being able to see it. Do you think Ketchup Entertainment's going to be able to change that? Comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on that. And with our final topic here today, guys, let's talk about this, because I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say. Adam Sandler is not my favorite comedic presence. I've liked a number of his stuff. Don't get me wrong. I've watched a couple of his stand-up. His stand-up stuff's not really for me. Even some of his SNL skits back in the day, they're hit and miss for me. But his earlier stuff, I find very enjoyable. Billy Madison, I'll put that on just to get a kick out of it. I like Big Daddy's one that I grew up with when I was younger. But my favorite Adam Sandler comedy film, bar none, is Happy Gilmore. I love Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore is such. It's funny, but it's also got like a heart to it, a strange heart to it that Adam Sandler was able to crack with that film that I just really enjoy. And I feared for a long time that they were gonna try and do another one. And now they are. They're doing another one over at Netflix, because that's where Adam Sandler movies live now. And we got our first teaser, our first look at Happy Gilmore 2 not too long ago, this past week. And I don't know. It was a short teaser. It didn't give too much. There he is again, Adam Sandler, Happy Gilmore, wearing the jersey and everything. I didn't find this teaser funny. I didn't find it funny. I don't quite know what the point of this one is. Like, when you looked at the first Happy Gilmore, the event that motivated him to join golf, losing his grandma's house, trying to win the house back, like, that was a sentimental thing that you could root for. Because even when he is, blowing temper tantrums and he's doing his whole Adam Sandler man-child shtick, they always had like a softer side to him in the first one that made him a relatable and rootable character. Now he's like nearly 60. And the whole time I was watching this trailer, I was just like, everything feels off. His performance as Happy Gilmore feels a little bit off. I'm not quite sure what the comedy was trying to do. The whole SpongeBob bit with the statue at the beginning it didn't hit for me. I'm really nervous about this one, guys. I'm really nervous because I love that first film so much. And I just don't know if this has the same magic that it looks like the first one's going to have. And Adam Sandler comedies, they have not hit for me lately. Ace, you got a chance to check out this teaser. What are your thoughts on the first Happy Gilmore? Do you feel the same as me with this teaser, or did this one work for you?
First Happy Gilmore, iconic. Definitely a cult classic. I just don't know why they're doing this. And I'm right there with you. I'm looking at the Adam Sandler list. Like, what was the last Adam Sandler movie that I was like excited about?
His drama stuff is really, like, he's been doing really well.
Yeah, like the Uncovered Gems and Uncut Gems and stuff like that. He's either hit or miss, like, in my opinion, as of late. But I think Hollywood has an agenda. I think they're pushing Adam Sandler heavily, because if you look at what happened with the Golden Globes and the Oscars, they've segued him into that, like with,
funny bit. I like that bit.
The funny bits and stuff like that. So I kind of feel like they're trying to push him with the Timothée Chalamet stuff, and then what he was dressed, stuff like that. So I think they're trying to bring him back. There are good Adam Sandler movies though. I just don't see the appeal to this outside of the reoccurring jokes that we're going to probably see that they're going to rehash from the first one. Because what direction could you go with? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we going to get a lot of references from the first movie and be like, you remember when this was funny? Like, Ben Stiller's in it. We saw that, that quick clip of him in it, even though we've seen him in other Adam Sandler movies as that same character. So it's just going to be...
Hubie Halloween. Don't remind me of Hubie Halloween.
Yeah, that was, dude, I turned that off. I watched like 5 minutes of it and turned it off. But it's just... all this is just adding to eventually what we are going to know as the Sandler cinematic universe. It's coming. They've talked about it. They talked about like doing it like for you, not like that, but it's like, could you imagine him bringing in all his characters, and just in one grand movie, and that's like a final Adam Sandler send off. But he's had good movies. I'm not with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as me, I love, like, like Grown Ups. You had mentioned a lot of them. Grown Ups is one of my favorites. Just Go With It is actually one of my favorites as well. But, Blended is good. But I just expect this to be a traditional Adam Sandler movie. He's going to try to be funny. He'll have a love interest that has both V's in her name because he's obsessed with the V names, the Vicky Valancourts, and every love interest he has, Virginia, they're all double V's, like he's Stan Lee or something like that, but just with women. But yeah, I mean, I'll check it out. Is it going to be as good as the first? I highly doubt it.
T, long-awaited comedy sequels have not had the best track record as of late. Could Happy Gilmore be the one that cracks the code and makes it work? What are your thoughts on the first one? What are your thoughts on this teaser?
So I don't think I've seen this teaser. I saw a teaser a few months ago. Netflix put out a whole bunch, like a sizzle reel of all of their new Netflix movies. I haven't seen this one. As long as Shooter McGavin, I'm so here for it. Like, come on. This is so my experience with the original Happy Gilmore. I can't remember where I was, but somehow I got a bootleg copy of Happy Gilmore.
You can neither confirm nor deny that story is true.
Well, this is statute of limitations so long gone. And it was such a terrible copy of it. I remember the first scene where the movers are moving the stuff and he's hitting the golf.
That was hilarious.
And I was like, man, I gotta watch this. And I ended up renting the movie, like the old pay-per-view system where you pay like $5. Now you stream it and you pay like $5. But I remember I bought that movie like 5 times because I watched it so many times. My mother was extremely upset with me because this is when I was in high school. And it was just like, man, I laughed so hard at this movie. Like all Adam Sandler movies has that heart to it, right? This movie had that heart to it. And when you were talking about old scenes, I had a flashback of Ben Stiller telling her, "You're gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna put you to sleep," which is one of my favorite lines.
You're in my world.
That's one of my favorite lines. I used to tell it to my cousin all the time. If you could go to sleep, I'm gonna put you to sleep. That's just one of my favorite lines in cinema is that line with Ben Stiller with that mustache, and it's just such an iconic moment in cinematic history. Is this movie gonna capture that again?
You a warm glass to shut the hell, like, oh man.
Yes. Holy smokes, man. Chubbs, like R.I.P. Carl Weathers, man. Like,
oh yeah, he won't be able to be in it.
Such a funny movie with so many iconic scenes. Go to your home, go to your home. Like, oh my gosh,
that's your home. You're too good for your home.
Said that a billion times. Such a quotable movie. Bob Barker showing up. R.I.P. to Bob Barker. Yeah, yes. Like iconic movie. There we go. Tiger Woods. It should be Chubbs. That actually looks like Carl Weathers. That don't look like Tiger Woods.
Yeah, but that SpongeBob joke fell flat though. It really did.
Yeah, the way they started the teaser off with that, I was like, "That's your opening joke." Oh my! I like that she's back. Julie Bowen, I think is her name from the first one, and Modern Family.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see, I can be totally honest. I don't even remember his love. I thought his.
No, it was Virginia. It was Virginia's wife.
I thought Ben Stiller's wife was the love interest in the first one. Maybe I'm getting my Adam Sandler movies mixed up because she seemed to be his love interest in a few of his movies. But anyways, I'm still looking forward to this. Like, I'm gonna check out the teaser trailer, but I'm still looking forward to this because Adam Sandler is funny. It's still funny to me. He put out a stand-up on Netflix earlier this year, and it was hilarious. Like his jokes hit. He's an old man comic now, though. Like a lot of his jokes are like old man jokes, and you can he just looks like gruff now. He's just probably a jaded old man whose life just like moving boxes. His life just didn't turn out the way it should have turned out. He probably got kind of fell into a Tiger Woods trap of like probably did something stupid and just ruined everything. So I like a lot of those jokes are going to write themselves. There's probably going to be a lot of Tiger Woods jokes in this movie, which is probably warranted and is going to be funny. I wouldn't be surprised if Tiger Woods doesn't show up at some point in this movie. That would not surprise me. But as long as Shooter McGavin's in it, I'm here for it.
Yep, he's confirmed to be in it
for sure. I saw him in the sizzle reel where he's talking trash, but yeah, he was in the last Adam Sandler movie. Like he just shows up. He shows up randomly.
He brings all his friends. You know, it's gonna be
of course.
Kevin James showed up in this and stuff like
Steve Buscemi and like all of the David Spade, like all of his Tim Meadows, like all of his guys are gonna be in this movie, which is one of the reasons why I love Adam Sandler. Put your people on, man. Like,
yeah, I do love that he does that with his friends. Anyways, I don't know. For me, the teaser didn't hit. It didn't have the same magic. We'll see how the actual movie turns out on Netflix. But even the fact that it's a Adam Sandler comedy going to Netflix, I can't remember the last time I liked one of those either. Like I wasn't into the murder mystery movies they did. I wasn't into Hubie Halloween. I wasn't into whatever. I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm nervous, man. I really am.
I'm the opposite. I loved Hubie Halloween. I thought that.
Oh yeah.
I loved Hubie Halloween. I loved the first murder mystery. That was me and my wife watched. We watched all of the Adam Sandler movies. We enjoyed the first one. The second one, not so much. It was still okay. You're so not invited to my bat mitzvah, like his daughter's movie. That was actually his best movie that he's put out. Then Hustle was phenomenal. Like if you're not seeing Hustle's not a comedy, but Hustle's really good.
Yeah. Like I said, his dramatic stuff is. I want to see him do more, leaning to more of the dramatic stuff than his comedies. To be honest.
I mean, it's on Netflix too. I don't have to pay any money for it. I'm just gonna watch it from the comfort of my own home. Like, and if it's funny, great. It's not gonna sour me. I'm probably gonna go back and watch the original Happy Gilmore just to laugh, and it'll be fine.
Would you do a double feature if they had it in theaters? Like, let's say they had the first Happy Gilmore and then Happy Gilmore 2. Would you go?
No. That's too much time. See, I'll
be over 3 hours.
If it's over, I don't have that type of time. I don't have that type of time. If I did, I probably would, because like the original Happy Gilmore is still it's still funny. You could watch that right now.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
It's a lot of 90s humor, but it's still hilarious, man. Like I would do it if I had the time.
He's had great movies. We haven't mentioned the Hotel Transylvania's. I love those movies. Click was good. 50 First Dates.
Click. 50, he's had great movie.
Pixel. I think Pixels was probably like the last one that I saw. As of recently, that I was like, okay,
I didn't enjoy. Yeah.
Longest
Yard. I didn't like Pixels.
Big Daddy's great. That's another quotable. Like the one thing with Adam Sandler movies is you're gonna have quotables.
But again, you're going back like 30, 20 years to get these good ones. Like as of late, what has he done for comedies that have hit? What has worked?
Hubie Halloween in my house is a staple. Like I've watched because Hubie Halloween came out 2 years ago or maybe 3 years ago, and we watched it every Halloween since. That movie is funny.
That's fair.
Not You Chuck and Larry's another good one, but like you said, I mean that came out in 2007. Jack and Jill, I think we could all say that was terrible.
Oh gosh,
I never saw that.
One Adam Sandler
I refuse to watch that.
A very underrated Adam Sandler movie to me. Don't Mess with the Zohan, bro.
That's hilarious.
2008, so that's coming on 20 years as well. So that's what I'm saying, man. We got to get this Sandler cinematic universe going because he's getting up there and these characters are getting old. So make it happen, Netflix.
Netflix probably will too.
All show up. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Happy Gilmore 2. Are you a fan of the first one? Are you looking forward to this second one? Do you think that this will be the long-awaited comedy sequel that actually works? Comment down below. Let us know. With that, we have reached the end of the show today, guys. So thank you again to Ace and T for being here today. This is actually Ace's last time with us on members. He can't make it next week. So just we're gonna miss you next week, man. And from just myself, thank you so much for all that you've given to the show. Thank you so much for all the support you've given to the channel. Thank you just for contributing your thoughts, your opinions, making the show better, and just the support that you have poured out to me personally on and off screen means a great deal. I so appreciate it. This is not a goodbye for us. We're going to do some more stuff together for sure down the line. But as far as members goes, it's been like the word honor doesn't even encapsulate how it's been, man. It's been a true privilege, honor, and thank you so much for being here and joining us on and also putting this time aside on your Saturday to join us and do that. That's never lost on me that you guys are giving me your time to come and hang out and talk movies, and it's a real honor and privilege, and I really appreciate it, man. So thank you for everything you've done for Members Talk Live, the channel, and just for being a friend, man. Thank you so much.
No problem. Zach's about to get me real emotional here. Like, like you said, it's never a goodbye. It's always I'll see you later. But yeah, man, this has just been such a great experience, man. Like I'm going to clip this and what you said, I'm going to put that at the end of my recap for 2025. But yeah, that's definitely getting clipped. But man, this show, and you as a person, Zach, are truly incredible, amazing. And like I said, we've talked about it several times, dude. You are a pioneer of the YouTube community, man, because you have brought a lot of us creatives together, and it's birthed other things as well. Like, I got to know T, through that, me and T have got to know other people that we're working with. So dude, because of a show like this, man, you have been truly impactful to the YouTube community, and we are just honored and privileged to know you at the end of the day. And I am totally grateful that you even had me on. Appreciate you, man. And whatever you need, I got you. And I will always be here to support Zach Milne Talks Movies, and make sure you guys do too.
Oh man, thank you that's so kind. That's so kind words. Such kind words. Thanks, man. And I honestly, that's been the goal of this from the start, was to help people find other creators and grow, and the fact that that worked for you guys, even just like if it was only you guys, then this show did its job, and I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud that it was able to do that. So tell them where they can find you, Ace. Where are you on the YouTubes?
You can find me at the Ace Avenue, DAACE, for your sports, movies, and more by yours truly. I just put out my Snow White review, so make sure you guys go check that out. 25 movies is the goal this year. 3, I've missed 2 because I was having some internet issues, but the baseball season is in full effect. That's why I won't be able to be here next week. So I'll be there so make sure you check me out on there. But like I said, definitely look forward to working with you guys and you Zach, in the future as well. So yeah, thank you.
Oh yeah, 100%. We got to do a High School Musical ranking or something together. That's what I've been thinking about right now. You got to
watch High School Musical, the series. I
got to watch the series. Yeah.
When you do that, we'll do a breakdown of that. So
100%. All right. And T, where can they find you, man?
You could find me at the Have You Seen That with T YouTube channel. You could also find me on the Island of Relevancy podcast YouTube channel, where we talk wrestling. That's generally where I spend most of my YouTube time now. I haven't really reviewed any movies in quite a while, actually, since January. But that's going to change next weekend, because there are 3 big movies, at least in my world, that's coming out next weekend. And I'm going to resetting the studio up behind me to do some more movie reviews, so I could change up my set once again, because I'm just ignorant like that. But yeah, you can find me there. And next weekend, The Woman in Black, I think that's the name of the movie. That's like a new black horror movie, which is really going to kick off a new year of movie reviews for me. But the Island of Relevancy podcast, Wednesday nights with Frank the Tank, and we just have a good time talking about wrestling.
Awesome, man. Yeah, go check that out. And I'll link that down in the description below, your new channel, because I haven't gotten your new channel linked down there. So we'll definitely do that. All right. I've been Zach. I'm here. That's where you can find me. So not that hard to search. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me as always. And thank you guys for joining us as well. We'll see you next week. Take care.